The ing
දයාවර දූ දරුවනි ඔබේ ඉංග්‍රීසි දැනුම වැඩි දියුණු කිරීම සඳහා අපි ඔබට අත දෙන්නෙමු. ඔබ සඳහාම සකසා ඇති මේ සරල ඉංග්‍රීසි පාඩම් මාලාව තුලින් ඔබේ දැනුම තවත් වැඩි කරගන්න. ලෝකයේ අනෙකුත් රටවල් සමග අත්වැල් බැඳගන්න අපි ඉංග්‍රීසියෙන් කතා කරමු.
You have a mother and a father. Your father's mother is your grandmother. Your mother's mother is also your grandmother. And your mother's father is your grandfather. So you usually have 2 grandfathers and 2 grandmothers. And your grandfather's father is your great-grandfather. So these are terms that we use. But now let's think of this. Your mother's brother's son or daughter is your cousin. That's cousin. It's not your brother, it's not your sister, but your cousin. Okay, let's think of another usage in discussing the family tree. Your sister's husband is your brother-in-law. That's the term that is used. So keeping all of these different characters in mind, you can build your family tree. Yes, all those people who form part of your family can be itemized or noted down, and you'd find it very interesting to do. Now there are people who live in the house next to yours. They are not your family. They are your neighbors. In fact, they are also your friends. The person who lives next door has 2 children. Those 2 children are your friends, but not your family. So that is also very interesting, that your neighbors are your friends. But also sometimes your cousins could be living next door. Then they are not only friends, but they are also members of your family, your cousins. And their parents you might refer to as aunt and uncle. They are friends, they are neighbors, and also your family. Another word is relatives. So all of these are very interesting and wide, but how do you distinguish or find out one from the other? And how do you use these words in different ways? Well, listen on and you will learn some more. So please stay with us.
Hi. Today we will learn how to talk about family and friends. This is Mala. She is a teacher. This is Mala's family. These are her parents. This is her mother. And this is her father. This is Mala's sister, Geeta. Geeta is a housewife. This is Geeta's family. This is her husband. He is Mala's brother-in-law. And this is Geeta's son. He is Mala's nephew. Now look at Mala's grandparents. This is her grandmother. And this is her grandfather. Now this is Mala's neighbor, Mrs. Vijay Singha. Her eldest son Manoj is an accountant, and he is Mala's boyfriend. Manoj has a younger sister, Manel. This is Mala's father's sister, Anoma, with her children. She is Mala's aunt, and these are her cousins. Now this is a picture of Mala's best friend, Sonali. She works as a secretary. Let's see if you know how to fill out a simple form. Let's listen to what this girl has to say. My name is Nirma Pereira. That's spelled Nirma Perera. Nirma Perera. I'm Sri Lankan and I was born on the 28th of June 1982. My address is 38 Dalada Vidya. That's DALADA VEEDIYA, Dalada Vidya. Kandy. Kandy is spelled KANDY. My telephone number is 081 255 6101. Can you help me fill out this form? Do you know about the possessive form? It's used to talk about something a person has. After a singular noun like mother or Sunil, we use an apostrophe and an S, like this is my mother's sari, or this is Sunil's school bag. Now, after plural nouns that end in S, like boys or monkeys, there we say this is the boys' classroom, BOYS apostrophe. Another example, this is the monkey's cage. Monkeys would be spelled MONKEYS and then followed by the apostrophe. Remember that some plural nouns don't end in S, like children or women. They should end in an apostrophe and S, like this is the children's teacher, Mr. Perera. This is the women's toilet. So you write women, WOMEN, put the apostrophe and then add an S. Let's discuss opposite pairs of verbs and adjectives for talking about waking, sleeping, getting up, and so on. Take a look at this example. I'm always awake before everyone else in our family. I usually wake up very early, around 6 o'clock. Then I read the newspaper and drink tea, and I get up at about 7 o'clock and get dressed. In the evening, I get undressed and go to bed at about 11 o'clock. Then I read in bed, but not for very long. I'm usually so tired that I go to sleep very quickly, and I'm always asleep by midnight. Did you notice the opposites? Remember that the opposite of awake is asleep. So what is the opposite of wake up? That would be go to sleep. Get up would be go to bed. Get undressed would be get dressed.
It's time now to get to know a few words and phrases. And also, may we recommend that you always refer a dictionary to get the best definitions or meanings of words. And as you do that, you know exactly what those words mean and also are able to use it correctly in your speech. Here's the word nice. Nice. You hear that ever so often. You hear that on television sometimes when they're talking about biscuits. But what is nice? Well, you may be surprised to find out the meaning of nice as it appears in the dictionary. Nice does not mean anything that is pretty. Nice does not mean that which looks attractive. But nice has a very different meaning. It means something which is very tidy and neat and often small. So if you're talking about a present and it was nicely wrapped, what we are talking about there is not about how attractive or pretty it is to look at, but rather we are saying the package was neatly and tidily, without any rough edges, but neatly and tidily packed in a small container. That's a nice parcel or a nice package. So you notice that you can't say a nice person, because a person is not wrapped up and a person may not be small. You can't even say a nice dress, because a nice dress would mean it needs to be wrapped up in a small tidy package. But dresses are worn, so it cannot be nice. It can be a pretty dress, it can be an attractive dress, but it cannot be nice. So the word nice is often wrongly used in many places. So that's a surprise. Get to know that. Here's another phrase that we can keep in mind, and that's get engaged. Get engaged. What does that mean? Well, get engaged usually has the meaning of when a man and a woman decide to be married in the future, at some date in the future. They promise to honor that. In other words, they agree in the presence of maybe their parents that they will marry someday soon. On that occasion, that promise is referred to as getting engaged, or a person has got engaged, if you're talking about it in the past tense. Get engaged. That means promise to marry. And similarly, we refer to a couple, that means a man and a woman, getting married or get married. That phrase together, get married, or those two words together in a phrase, get married, means have a wedding. Yes, get married. So obviously the two terms are different, get engaged, get married, but they're expressed similarly, meaning different things. One is a promise to be married or to get married in the future. We hope you understand that. Anyway, do refer your dictionary, and as we said, you'll be surprised at some things you can learn from your dictionary. And certainly getting familiar with the meanings of words and phrases adds so much to your use of the English language.